Let's go back to the basics of organizing Evernote so it works best for you. Because Evernote opens as a blank slate, I always suggest that newcomers to Evernote do a little bit of brainstorming on how they want to structure their system. Hi, I'm Dave Edwards, and today I want to revisit how, when, and why you should use tags in Evernote and a caution about using them as well. You see, the basic structure of Evernote includes notes, notebooks, and tags. Tags are nothing more than keywords that help you organize your notes so that they can be sorted by those keywords. I've known people who have gotten so carried away, believe it or not, that they've had more than 1,000 plus tags. Man, I couldn't remember that many. And as a result, if I had that many tags, my system would not be very efficient. So there's a big debate among hardcore Evernote users. Do you organize by tags or notebooks and whatever? Well, I believe you can use both, but you've got to be very thoughtful about the way in which you use them. You want to use just enough tags to simplify your system and help you search for what you need. Like I say, the problem is some people just go crazy and you have too many tags. Use tags when a note might apply to more than one category. Use tags when you want to find notes in a specific notebook by a keyword. Plus, you have to be careful that when you create a tag, even in the way you type it, you can get into a lot of trouble. So, for example, uh, how did you really mean to spell receipt? Is that RECIET, RECEIT? Is there a P in there? If you mistype receipts, you're really in trouble. You'll never find all of the receipts, particularly if you're not sure. And every time you go in, you set up a new tag with a new spelling. So here's the way I use tags. So now we're on my demonstration account. This is the web application, which, by the way, is a pretty good place to start. Now, Evernote does have applications for iOS and PCs, but I always recommend to people, especially when they're starting, to start getting familiar with the web-based version, as it's the one where they put all the features on right away as they're rolling them out, and it's a very nice system to get used to. So here is the web-based system, and if you notice here in the left column, you have the home screen, which we've talked about before, shortcuts, notes, tasks, notebooks, and here we are with tags. Now, as you can see, there's nothing here, but if I click on it, you're going to see a list of tags that I've kind of set up already, just so we have something to talk about today. You can also add a tag simply by clicking the plus button here. It will ask you for the name of the tag that you want to type. And so you could very simply say, this is an experimental tag. And so we hit create and boom, now you have another tag. And this one is called experimental. Very simple to do. If you would have a long list of tags, you can find the tags with this a search bar. But as I said, don't get too carried away, and I'll show you more in a little while. All right, so this is our list of tags, and as you can see, if I have a note that I need to tag with particular people, they end up here. So these are tags for this note. Uh, the tags also appear here, and if you come over here, you can edit all of your tags in this right column. So you can rename a tag or anything that you'd like to do with that. You notice here for some of these tags, they have little numbers next to them. That is how many notes do I have tagged with Mary's name. You can see I have 3. Here I have 1 note tagged for an item which will end up in a future expense report. Um, Here is an item for Fred, a tag for Fred, and as you can see right now, I don't have any items tagged with Fred's name. But when one occurs, all I have to do is associate that file, that note, with Fred's name, and then a number 1 would appear. So you've created a new note and now you want to tag it. You've got the note here. As you see, you've got a lot of commands up here, a lot of things that you can do with this note. And one of the things that Evernote has done, which I don't think is particularly great idea, it kind of hid how you create a tag for this note. And if you look at a lot of the forums, people say, well, tags are no longer available. Oh, yes, they are, but they're not up here. You have to go to the bottom of your note and here you see add tag. Now, this is the way you can add a tag. Click on this and you can type the tag that you want to add. Or you can also type a reminder. These commands are kind of buried down here. So this is to add the tag. This is what I was talking about, the confusion of notes. Let's say one time I go into the system and I want to plug in an expense report. I want to plug in an item that I want to recall when I do my expense report. And so I type a tag called expense report. But then I kind of forget about that. And 3 weeks later, I have another item that I want to put in a future expense report, and I just name it expense. Now, do you see what's happened? I've created two different tags, and really, they're for the same thing, but I've misnamed them. So this is why you need to sort of have a plan to figure out what you want to call every item that is related to an expense report. So let's hit cancel and get out of that. All right, so now let's say we're working on our mileage report, and I no longer need to have this item tagged for mileage. Let's say I don't want to. I could just delete the note. I could just come over here and say, well, once it's entered, I could delete the note to trash. That would be fine. But let's say, for example, I want to keep the note, but I just don't want it tagged anymore. Very simple. Just come over to this filter section, click the X next to the tag that you no longer want to associate this note with, and you just click it. Now, that note did not go away. It's just no longer tagged. You could resort, by the way, all of your tags by simply coming over here with this little icon with the arrow, and you click on it, and it gives you an opportunity to sort your notes either by title, which is the way I have it now, or by the number of notes, so that those the tags with the most notes would appear near the top of your list. Because I have a lot of project folders with notes and papers related to my work on each of those projects, there are elements of each project that I need to review with members of my staff. So, for example, when I have a project called, oh, let's say the Johnson project, one element of that project needs to be reviewed with Bob, my business manager. And there's a marketing component to the project. So I need to talk to Mary about that. And I've tagged all of those components with either the name Bob or Mary. Now, when I have a status meeting with Bob, instead of trying to comb through all of the notes, or worse yet, trying to remember what I have to talk to Bob or Mary about, I simply click on the tag featuring their name. Very simple. But hopefully, you can see why having too many tag possibilities can be rather counterproductive. If you're interested in improving your productivity system, I believe Evernote is a really powerful tool that can help you significantly. I've done a lot of research on what's out there to improve productivity and help with time management. And I created an online course called just that, Productivity and Time Management. I'd really love it if you would take a look at it. I really am confident that you'll feel like so many of the other people who have taken the class that it really makes a difference. There's elements of how to use GTD and Evernote in the course, but it's really not based on either of them. It's based on research and tried and true methods, tried and true by me. And I'm able to give you a good perspective on how to organize your time and be more productive. So check it out. My course, Productivity and Time Management, is at daveedwardsmedia.com. Click on courses.